UNTV News and Rescue.
Tonight on Y News, the newly released National Democratic Front of the Philippines consultants are confident that the peace talks will bring positive results.
Martial law victims assert that the burial of the late President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. at the libingan ng mga bayani is unconstitutional.
More than 5,000 residents remain in evacuation centers in Pampanga. Evacuees in Bulacan appeal for help. 13 competing teams begin intensive trainings as UNTV Cup Season 5 sets to kick off on August 29.
The Department of Science and Technology admits that the agency's hybrid road train is not applicable in Metro Manila.
The country commemorates the contributions and works of former President Manuel L. Quezon today. Good evening, Philippines and the world. This is Y News.
UNTV News and Rescue Command Center. This is Y News with Angelo Castro III, Gerry Alcantara, and Darlene Basingan.
First in the news, the recently released National Democratic Front of the Philippines peace consultants are confident that their peace talks with the government will yield positive results. Joanano will tell us why.
Benito and Wilma Chamson were finally released today from the Philippine National Police Custodial Center. In their short message, the couple thanked President Rodrigo Duterte for allowing them to participate in the peace talks that will be held in Oslo, Norway next week.
Kami ay naniniwala na nabuksan ang mainam na oportunidad para sumulong ang pag-uusap para makamit ang komprehensibong kasunduang pangkapayapaan kaugnay ng mga makabuluhang reformang panlipunan, pang-ekonomiya at pampolitika na kinakailangan para mabigyang wakas ang armadong labanan.
Afterwards, the two went to the office of the National Democratic Front of the Philippines in Quezon City. They faced the media again along with other NDFP consultants who were also temporarily freed to join the peace negotiation. They expressed confidence that the peace negotiations on August 22 will succeed. The Chamsons say that temporary freedom of NDFP consultants is an indication of the President's determination to achieve long-lasting peace.
Ang mga pagpapalayang ito ay goodwill measures, nalilikha ng kapaligiran mainam para sa pagsulong ng peace talks. Ang pagpapalayang ito ay alinsunod din sa mga provision ng JASIG. Kaya ito ay nagpapatibay sa pagpapatupad ng JASIG at iba pang kasunduang napirmahan na sa pagitan ng GPH at NDFP.
They are also positive that more political prisoners will be freed once the peace talks under the Duterte administration succeeds. Overall, 17 NDFP peace consultants have been temporarily released by the government to join the 5-day peace negotiations that will end on August 26. Among those temporarily released are Maria Concepcion Araneta Bocala, Tirso Alcantara, Ariel Arbitrario, Kennedy Bangibang, Alex Birondo, Winona Birondo, Renante Gamara, Eddie Genelsa, Alan Hazmines, Ernesto Lorenzo, Alfredo Mapano, Ruben Saluta, Jaime Solidad, Adelberto Silva, Loida Magpatok, Wilma Chamson, and Benito Chamson. After the press conference, the NDF consultants went to the embassy to prepare their passport, visas, and other requirements they need in their flight out of the country. Joan Nano, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The United Nations human rights experts have released their statements on the continuous increase of extrajudicial killings in the Philippines, despite President Rodrigo Duterte's backlash. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
The UN Special Rapporteur on Summary Executions, Agnes Callamard, appealed to the Philippine authorities to adopt with immediate effect the necessary measures to protect all people from target killings and extrajudicial executions. She said claims to fight illicit drug trade do not absolve the government from its international legal obligations. Dainus Puras, UN Special Rapporteur on the Right to Health, said, however necessary, responses to illicit drug trade should respect the human rights of each person. President Duterte has already ordered the investigation on the extrajudicial executions, but his anti-illegal drugs campaign will be relentless despite disapproval of other groups. President Duterte is also willing to be investigated by any investigating body on extrajudicial killings because of the anti-illegal drugs campaign. But he said those who were killed by drug syndicates must not be blamed on his administration.
I have yet to complain the UN President state publicly over and over again because of the loss of the lives of innocent people. That is the problem. And here comes the UN easily swayed and coming on a very stupid proposition of for those who are killed by the other drug syndicates, we can only investigate, but do not attribute the acts of other criminals upon my government. And I would like also to just say, why would the United Nations be so easy to be swayed into interfering in the affairs of this republic? There are about just 1,000. There are a lot of people, innocent women, child, young women, young men, old women, being killed elsewhere in this world without even saying the slightest justice.
Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
The Philippine National Police Chief confirms that the National Capital Region Police has been included among the low-performing regions in the government's war against illegal drugs. Meanwhile, the PNP urges the wealthy subdivisions to cooperate in Oplan Tokhang. Lea Ilagan will tell us why.
I was told by URD na medyo nagtatampo siya sa akin dahil nabanggit ko daw na NCRPO is one of the top 3 underperforming regions in our war against drugs, on our war on drugs. And I told him, personally, I am very satisfied. Sinabi ko lang yon dahil gusto kong mag-perform pa siya sa more.
PNP Chief Police Director General Ronald Dela Rosa clarified that he intentionally included the NCRPO in the list of 3 underperforming regions based on their assessment, together with Region 5 and Region 6, Western Visayas. According to Dela Rosa, he mentioned it so that Metro Manila Police will double their efforts, especially since about 94.2% of 1,706 barangays in Metro Manila are now affected by illegal drugs.
Nakita natin sa ating mapping sa drug affectation ng Metro Manila, marami pa ring barangay dito sa Metro Manila na drug-affected barangays, and yet zero drug surrenderies. So I pose this challenge to everyone. Kailangan mag-surrender na yung mga drug personalities dyan sa mga barangay na wala pa rin nag-surrender.
NCRPO Acting Director, Police Chief Superintendent Oscar Albayalde promised to triple their efforts in executing the Oplan Tokhang and double barrel in barangays within their jurisdiction. He is also ready to sack policemen who will be found negligent of their respective duties. Albayalde says Residents of exclusive subdivisions who will refuse to cooperate in Oplan Tukang will be included in the case build-up.
Kung talagang suspect natin sila na drug dealer sila, then meron naman tayong operations, police operations pagdating dyan.
Aside from that, they will also investigate the alleged extrajudicial killings and vigilante-style killings in Metro Manila that have reached 274. Albayalde says 22 of them have been identified as hitman and members of drug syndicates. Leia Ilagan, UNTV News and Rescue, Camp Bagong Diwa, Taguig.
More than 50 personnel of the Philippine National Police in Cebu have been relieved from their posts. Gladys Tuwabi will tell us why.
The internal cleansing of the Philippine National Police is still ongoing under the Duterte administration. Yesterday, the Police Regional Office 7 received an order from Camp Crame, relieving 55 personnel from the region. Among them are 8 officers and 47 non-commissioned officers. Others have derogatory police records and some are possibly involved in illegal drugs. PRO 7 Director Chief Superintendent Noli Talino says most of the relieved personnel will be reassigned to ARMM and Cordillera.
Kaya naman natin, kahit na ma-relieve ang buong Region 7. Basta malinisan yung PNP. Kahit nang matira dito, konti lang. Basta matitino yung mga pulis na kasama natin dito sa Region 7.
Meanwhile, during the 115th anniversary of PNP, a command conference was conducted. Talino highlighted the target of the agency against illegal drugs in the country.
Sinabi niya ulit, let us double or even triple yung ating effort dito sa kampanya natin sa illegal drugs. Kasi meron nga tayong target, 3 to 6 months. Dapat malinis natin ito.
Gladys Tuwabi, UNTV News and Rescue, Cebu.
Several residents of Albuera Leyte gather their strength to reveal the rampant illegal drug operations and crimes in their municipality. Meanwhile, Mayor Rolando Espinosa is heavily guarded by his supporters as he temporarily stays in the municipal building. Mon Hocson will tell us why.
Supporters of Albuera Mayor Rolando Espinosa Sr. expressed their support for the mayor, who is inside the municipal building. They hold placards with written messages saying, "You are not alone. We are your constituents in support of you. We love you, Mayor Daddy Espinosa. We love you, Mayor Daddy Onic." The acting leader of the group, Mary Ann Romero, said they are helping in providing security to the mayor, who is in the municipal hall, fearful for his life and his families.
Ikan pagabot ni Daddy, din namin isugat mi, nagpilaw mi, nagbuntag mi din ni. Kaya dili mi gusto nga naay mo pasipa ni Mayor kay kami dayar jud mi nga suporta niya.
Meanwhile, a number of residents gathered their strength to speak on the issue of illegal drugs in their area. According to Barangay Councilor Protasio Macamay, in the past, they refrained from staying outdoors in fear of being killed due to crimes in their area.
Pag nalipay nami, nga doon na nami kibali, kagawasan nga, pero di na tapinugnan. Kaya di may ka-istorya lagi, may tungod og droga din eh, di may ka-istorya. Kaya hadlok mi nga, kuutong ka lang sa ato ba, sakun mo, sabot ka. Wa may pakailangan na nangamatay din nga, walo ka buok.
Some residents were thankful that Police Senior Inspector Jovi Espinido was reinstated in Albuera.
May na lang kay ni Sir Jovi nga maka depensa na sa amo kadlok karon nga gibati. Hayag na nga among pangunahuna makatuog na mi di na mi mahadlok sa among mga anak nga magabihan pag-uli.
Residents say they hope that peace and order will remain in their place while the rampant illegal drug problems is being resolved. Mon Hocson, UNTV News and Rescue.
Among the great attributes of the late President Manuel Luis Quezon, Filipinos are most proud of his being the father of the Filipino language. Aiko Miguel will tell us why.
The Buwan ng Wika is celebrated each year simultaneously with the commemoration of the birth and death anniversary of the late President Manuel Luis Quezon. Although President Quezon had many contributions such as the development of our economy, agrarian reform, education and social justice system in the country, for Filipinos, his most remarkable contribution is the promotion of our national language. The late President Manuel L. Quezon is also known as the father of the Philippine national language. Even in this generation, the leaders of our country would want to convey the importance of the richness of our language and nation, which had been liberated from the hands of the conqueror decades ago. In effect of the Commonwealth Act No. 184 of the 1935 Constitution, Quezon declared that Tagalog be the national language of the Philippines. In April 1940, he ordered the publishing of a dictionary and a grammar book of the national language in all private and public schools in the country.
Marugdog din niyang ipinagdiinan ang halaga ng pagkakaroon ng isang pambansang wika na nagmumula sa iba't ibang wika ng bansa, napapantay sa mga wikang Espanyol at Ingles.
Concurrent with the commemoration of the birth anniversary of the late President Quezon today are the exhibits at the Quezon Museum at Quezon Memorial Circle, Quezon City. At the museum, his works and the events in the history of the Philippines during the time of the Commonwealth government are displayed.
Every year I come here. Ever since I became a congressman here in 1992, pagka Quezon Day, nagpupunta ako dito.
The Quezon Museum is open from Tuesday until Sunday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority assures to observe limitations on the planned use of private roads in exclusive subdivisions in Metro Manila. Monokson will tell us why.
Homeowners Association need not worry because the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority assures they will set limitations on the use of private roads in all subdivisions. MMDA said the government understands the concerns of the residents of posh subdivisions and vowed to address them. That is why MMDA also is proposing to create a law ensuring the security of residents in subdivisions that will be opened as alternate routes. The MMDA is aware that homeowners are not easily persuaded to allow the use of their roads. In a previous case between MMDA and Bel Air subdivision in Makati, it can be recalled that MMDA wanted to open a part of Bel Air Road to the public. The case reached the court and MMDA lost against Bel Air.
Nagkaroon ng ruling ang korte na walang power ang MMDA na magbukas ng mga pampribadong subdivision at dahil doon sinabi ng Korte Suprema na walang ordinance power ang MMDA to do this.
MMDA explained that allowing private motorists to use subdivision roads as alternative routes, especially during rush hours, will be beneficial to many.
May mga subdivisions dyan na pwedeng lusutan yan kung open to sa publiko, pwedeng madaanan sana ito. Makakaluwag ito ng mga ibang mga highways natin gaya ng EDSA. So meron din, may mga makakatulong na mga private roads na buksan.
The MMDA plans in the near future to call on homeowners associations to tackle the said plan. Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The newly installed Secretary of the Department of Science and Technology admits that the country's hybrid road train is unlikely to be used in Metro Manila. Ray Pelayo will tell us why.
The new administration of the Department of Science and Technology will no longer push the utilization of the hybrid road train in Metro Manila. In an interview with the program Get It Straight with Daniel Razon, DOST Secretary Fortunato de la Peña said the road train doesn't fit Metro Manila's thoroughfares, especially in EDSA. It needs dedicated or a priority lane for it to run smoothly at a maximum speed of 50 kilometers per hour.
Napatunayan ng mga aandar, ang problema po dito sa Metro Manila, ang hirap kumuha ng lane para doon. Bakit nyo pinag-aralan pa yun doon? No? Di ba parang pag-aralan natin to. Tapos okay naman, naaandar, pero wala naman tayo paglalagyan. Di ba parang pumanisi nung nakaraan?
The road train was launched by DOST in 2012 with a budget of 45 million pesos to solve the problem of worsening traffic in Metro Manila. It has a series of 5 coaches of 40 meters long and can accommodate up to 240 passengers. It took 3 years for the completion of the hybrid road train. DOST is looking for other cities that can accommodate such design of public transport.
To make the most out of it, hinahanap namin na ibang mga syudad na willing mag-adapt.
The newly installed secretary will maximize the utilization of DOST's R&D products such as in health, transportation, and in agriculture.
Napaka-limited ng utilization. May ibang katulad halimbawa ng mga bagong teknolohiya gamit ng mga irradiated karajinan para sa palay, para lumakas sila. Meron na ho nag-adapt na ilang municipalities pero gusto namin sana ma-adapt siya at a larger scale.
Pag-asa plans to procure new equipments like radars for more accurate weather forecast. The budget for 2017 is 5 times higher than the previous years and will be used to comply with the Pag-asa Modernization Law. Pag-asa will also train additional future forecasters. Ray Pilayo, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Motorists are now experiencing heavy traffic along major roads in EDSA this Friday. Aiko Miguel is at Quezon Avenue in EDSA to tell us why, live. Go ahead, Aiko.
Yes, Darlene, good evening. It's the last day of the week. It's already past 8 in the evening and motorists are experiencing heavy traffic along major roads in EDSA. We are advising our motorists to expect heavy traffic in Shaw Boulevard, Reliance, Pioneer Boni, Orense, Buendia, Ayala Avenue, Magallanes, and in Arnaiz Pasay Road. Both sides have moderate to heavy traffic. Along northbound, light to moderate traffic is experienced in Balintawak, EDSA Muñoz, Quezon Avenue, MacArthur Farmers, Pitwazon, Ortigas Avenue, and Tramo. Traffic is light in both sides of Mall of Asia and Macapagal Avenue. Along southbound, moderate to heavy traffic is also experienced in Shaw Boulevard because of the strict implementation of bus lanes. Non-right turning private vehicles at Chota Guadalupe SB will be apprehended. Moderate to heavy traffic is also experienced in Kalayaan, Estrella, Ayala Avenue, Malibay, and Magallanes because there is an ongoing Skyway Stage 3 works along Osmeña Highway and Quirino Avenue. Meanwhile, in EDSA Guadalupe, from Orense to Ayala, there is light to heavy traffic. Going to Boni Shaw, traffic is moderate to heavy. And in EDSA Muñoz, going to Balintawak Market, traffic is moderate. Going to SM North, traffic is also moderate. In Letre Malabon, going to C4 Navotas, light traffic is also experienced. Going to Monumento, light traffic is experienced. And in Sucat Road, Parañaque City, going to Sucat Highway, the traffic situation is moderate. And going to Baclaran, traffic situation is light. Darlene, it's still raining in different parts of the Metro Manila and the public is always advised to bring umbrellas and raincoats to stay dry. And to our motorists, we are reminding you to keep your eyes on the road to be safe and happy weekend. That is the latest traffic update. Back to you, Darlene.
Thank you, Aiko Miguel, reporting live at EDSA Quezon Avenue.
Next in Y News. The Judicial and Bar Council opens the submission of applications for the 2 Supreme Court justice posts.
Customs brokers stage a protest in Manila.
Hundreds of residents remain in evacuation centers in Bulacan. Meanwhile, Pampanga continues to be affected by monsoon rains.
Y News will be right back. The Judicial and Bar Council has opened the applications for 2 Supreme Court justice positions. This is for the vacancies which will be created by the retirements of Associate Justices Jose Perez and Arturo Brion on December 14 and 29 respectively upon reaching the age of 70. JBC will accept applications and recommendations until September 20 and October 4.
A third petition was filed today before the Supreme Court asking to stop the burial of former President Ferdinand Marcos at the libingan ng mga bayani. Roderick Mendoza will tell us why.
A group of women who are victims of martial law files a petition before the Supreme Court to oppose the interment of former President Ferdinand Marcos at the Heroes Cemetery or the libingan ng mga bayani. Most of them claim that they were raped and tortured by soldiers during the days of Marcos' dictatorship. They asked the High Court to issue a temporary restraining order and prohibit Marcos' burial at the libingan ng mga bayani. They argued it is against the principle of the Constitution to confer to Marcos honors befitting only for heroes.
There is a huge risk na kapag yung isang kriminal, yung isang human rights violator, ay instead of holding him up to account, holding him up to ridicule and rejection, ay gagalangin pa natin at i-honor pa natin. Binabaliwala natin yung ating pagkiling doon sa prinsipyo ng proteksyon ng karapatang pantao.
Yan ay pagtatakwil sa kasaysayan. Yan ay pag-denegate doon sa tinig ng lahat ng mga nagsasalita na nung panahon ng batas militar.
They also claim that Marcos' interment at the Heroes Cemetery violates the country's obligations under the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. As a signatory to the treaty, the Philippines is obliged to end impunity and make sure human rights violations during martial law will not happen again. They add that a state-sanctioned conferment of honors to Marcos will possibly affect remedies for martial law victims.
Kung yung tao na yan ay biglang bayani na pala ang turing natin, paano pa natin mabibigyan ng sapat na remedy itong mga naging biktima ng kanyang rehimen?
Pagtatawanan tayo ng international community. Alam na alam ng international community ang nangyari dito sa panahon ni Marcos.
This is already the third petition opposing Marcos' burial at the Heroes Cemetery. The Supreme Court is set to hear the petitions in oral arguments this coming Wednesday. Roderick Mendoza, UNTV News and Rescue, Supreme Court.
A group of licensed customs brokers stages a protest just outside the main office of the Bureau of Customs today. Victor Cosare will tell us why.
The Bureau of Customs met with importers and exporters this morning to orient them on the basic customs procedures, rules, and regulations. As stated in the invitation, the seminar aimed at familiarizing the importers and exporters on the process related to getting customs clearances so they will no longer have to avail the services of the customs brokers. In relation to this, a group of licensed customs brokers staged a protest to oppose BOC's plan to disregard their profession.
Ang broker ay tumutulong para makakuha, makalikom ng maganda ang tamang duties and taxes na babayaran para sa gobyerno.
They also refuted the allegations that brokers are conduits of smugglers.
The broker cannot preempt the content of the container. Only the shipper and the importer has the knowledge of the content of the container.
In a statement, the Bureau says they are not eliminating the brokers. However, the new Customs Modernization and Tariff Act makes their services optional for importers and exporters because they can already directly transact with the agency. BOC further states that this measure may reduce the cost of bringing in products to the country that could benefit the consumers. Meanwhile, Customs Commissioner Nicanor Faeldon is willing to meet with the brokers to discuss the matter. Victor Cosare, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
Public school teachers may have a bright future ahead with their benefits. Nel Maribuhok will tell us why.
Some lawmakers have expressed support for the plan to amend some provisions of the Republic Act No. 8291 or the Government Service Insurance System Act of 1997, particularly pertaining to the additional benefits for all public school teachers. Under the House Bill No. 1087, or will be known as Public School Teachers Insurance Act of 2016, all teachers who are active in service are entitled to receive 200,000 pesos death benefits and 50,000 pesos burial expenses. Also, the reimbursement of medical expenses up to 100,000 pesos of active and retired teachers. The Alliance of Concerned Teachers believes that this bill, if passed into a law, will greatly benefit the teachers. The salary of an entry-level public school teacher amounts to only more than 14,000 pesos. Under the current GSIS policy, funeral benefits for teachers are not less than 12,000 pesos only. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, House of Representatives.
Hundreds of residents who remain at evacuation centers in Bulacan and Pampanga are asking the government to extend their additional relief assistance. Ray Pelayo will tell us why.
4 areas in Pampanga were placed under state of calamity. These are Minalin, Macabebe, Santo Tomas, and the municipality of San Fernando. Among the causes of extreme floodings in the area are the overflowing of river and fish pens due to torrential rains brought about by southwest monsoon. Authorities are carefully monitoring the situations in barangays that are still submerged in floodwater, as well as the welfare of residents in evacuation centers. In the municipality of Santo Tomas, 10 evacuation centers were designated by the local government to serve as temporary shelter for flood-affected residents. The mayor of Santo Tomas appeals for additional assistance from the national government.
Sa mga evacuees natin, yun nga, yung pangaraw-araw nilang pangangailangan, una-una pagkain.
Several barangays in Kalumpit remains inundated, so residents have no choice but to wade in murky water. Meanwhile, residents wade in waist-deep water in Sampang Bayan and Poblacion in Kalumpit, Bulacan. The flood was worsened by the spilling of water from Pampanga River. The local government of Kalumpit distributed relief and cash assistance to more than 200 residents in evacuation centers yesterday.
Sa Kalumpit ay mayroon tayong 11,774 families na evacuees sa 3 evacuation centers natin. Doon tayo nakapagbigay ng relief food. Kasi 19 barangay ang affected.
The main problem of the evacuees is the lack of proper sleeping beds and medicine supply.
Kailangan namin at saka yung iba sa amin wala rin mga gamit na dala papunta dito dahil nga sa taas ng tubig din sa may tabing ilog.
Gamot po sa lagnat sa ubos.
According to Mayor Jessie De Jesus, floodwater is likely to remain until next week before receding completely, especially in Kalumpit. Residents are hoping that the national government will address their immediate needs. Ray Pelayo, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
The monsoon trough affects Luzon and Visayas. Rosa Ricos is at the UNTV News and Rescue Weather Center to tell us why. Does Pag-asa monitor any weather disturbance this weekend?
Good evening, Diego. Actually, there is none inside the Philippine area of responsibility. But the State Weather Bureau says the low pressure area as well as the cyclone outside PAR affects the southwest monsoon, which may possibly bring rains over Visayas and Palawan.
Okay, please give us the latest weather update. Take it away, Rosalie.
Thank you, Diego. Cloudy skies with light to moderate rains and thunderstorms will affect the regions of Bicol and Eastern Visayas as well as the provinces of Cagayan, Isabela, Quirino, Aurora, and Quezon. The rest of the country and Metro Manila will have isolated rain showers and thunderstorms. Tomorrow's forecast says temperature in Metro Manila may reach up to 33 degrees Celsius, Tuguegarao City at 33 degrees Celsius, Baguio City at 16 to 21 degrees Celsius, and Puerto Princesa at 34 degrees Celsius. In Visayas, temperature in Metro Cebu may reach up to 33 degrees Celsius, Iloilo and Bacolod Bacolod City at 34 degrees Celsius and Tacloban City at 34 degrees Celsius. In Mindanao, temperature may reach up to 34 degrees Celsius in Metro Davao. Cagayan de Oro City may reach up to 35 degrees Celsius, Valencia City at 30 degrees Celsius, and Zamboanga City at 34 degrees Celsius. Before I turn you over to the studio, let me first tell you a trivia about southwest monsoon. Though no LPA or tropical cyclone is spotted within the Philippine area of responsibility this week, the country has still experienced heavy rains this past few days. In fact, more than 230,000 families have been displaced so far due to the continuous heavy rains brought about by the enhanced southwest monsoon, or what we commonly known as habagat. For our viewers' information, though the habagat is just winds coming from the southwest that forms into clouds, it can sometimes bring heavy rains when it enhances or intensifies, just like what happened in the previous days. The rains brought by the habagat enhances when a low-pressure area or tropical cyclone near or within the Philippine area of responsibility pulls the winds from the southwest that then brings rains over the country. Sometimes a habagat can wreak havoc like what happened in 2013 when a southwest monsoon intensified and brought 600 millimeters amount of rainfall in just 24 hours, causing massive floods. It can be noted that massive floods usually occur when there is a heavy downpour of rain. Parts of Pampanga, for example, is currently inundated due to the continuous heavy rain brought by the southwest monsoon in the past days. Since bad weather condition normally occurs in the Philippines, it is always better to be prepared and monitor latest weather updates. Keep safe, everyone, but always lean on and trust in the Almighty. That's all for today. Happy weekends. Back to studio.
Thank you, Rosalie Cos, reporting from the UNTV News and Rescue Weather Center. Coming up, the government targets to repatriate about 2,000 stranded OFWs from Saudi Arabia next month.
13 competing teams begin intensive training as UNTV Cup Season 5 sets to kick off on August 29.
Rio prepares its youth for ocean awareness after the Olympic water scare.
More from Y News after this break. The United States of America and Cuba have agreed to fight the Zika virus together. Meanwhile, an artist contributes to Zika virus awareness through his sketches. Aaron Romero tells us why.
It has been 1 year since the American flag was raised in front of the United States Embassy in Cuba. And one of the benefits of this newfound détente is that the two countries have signed an agreement to collaborate on health issues like Zika. The Pedro Cuori Hospital, located on the outskirts of Havana, houses Cuba's Institute of Tropical Medicine and is both a specialist hospital and a leading research center for mosquito-borne viral diseases like Zika and dengue fever. Now it could soon benefit from working closely with similar institutes in the United States.
This is a huge opportunity because we can share all the knowledge that we have. Our group is very experienced. We get the knowledge of them and also the technical support because there are also a lot of facilities that maybe they have that we don't have. So it's going to be remarkable for the relationship of the country and also for science.
A U.S. delegation is due to visit the institute in October to finalize details about areas of cooperation. Meanwhile, the New York City clinic is creating Zika-inspired art in order to raise awareness about the virus. At All City, a unique combination of art gallery and pediatrics clinic, artist Sean Crawford was hired to create illustrations that will eventually be made into an educational brochure.
I decided to draw the mosquitoes today, and make them a little more aggressive than my drawings usually are that I do here, just so the kids, when they do color them, that they get that in their mind that these mosquitoes are bad.
While the sketches got the attention of the clinic's toddler patients, their greater aim is to help raise the curiosity of their parents, who may be unaware of the dangers of ZIKA. And even though the mosquitoes in Crawford's sketches are harmless, their message is clear. ZIKA is a viable threat. Aaron Romero, UNTV News and Rescue, New York.
Orthopedic surgeons begin to use the most modern and cheaper method of performing a knee surgery. Aiko Miguel will tell us why.
Philippine surgeons have discovered a solution to lower the cost of knee surgery in the country.
Pero ang problem nga, because of the cost, no? Kasi yung implant pa lang, talagang mahal na. Paano pa yung hospitalization, and of course, professional fees of the doctors. So, we're hoping na if more orthopedic surgeons will use this, then probably we can bring down the price of the surgery.
At present, they are introducing the most modern yet cheaper system of knee surgery known as the Axis Knee System. Some orthopedic surgeons are currently training to learn the most fitting, safest, and proper execution of knee surgery using the Axis Knee System. Surgeons use a dummy to attach and realign bow-legged and knock-kneed patients. Compared to other implant markets, they carefully analyze the human body to identify the most fitting method for the Filipino anatomical structure.
This implant system is developed and initiated by Filipinos. Ano? So it's a local company and in cooperation with the Department of Science and Technology actually. So because of this, it has also become cheaper in price.
Dislocated or fractured knee surgery cost up to 500,000 pesos. But using the Axis Knee System, surgery for a senior citizen only cost up to 60,000 pesos in government hospital and 70,000 pesos in private hospitals. It is 3 times lower than other knee implant methods. This method of knee surgery is safer in easing the pain and mobility problems among patients who already have weak knee bones, such as senior citizens. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
Kuya Daniel's program, Serbisyong Kasangbahay, together with the Holistic Integrative Case Center, extends medical assistance to a patient with gout. Marge Navarro will tell us why.
Online shopping is more popular than ever these days, that even medicine can now be bought online. And that was how 49-year-old employee Manny Benitez self-medicated his gouty arthritis with hit or miss medicines from the internet.
Ito po na dahil sa yung sa arthritis ko ay bumili ako ng gamot na natuklasan ko sa internet. Yun po pala ay steroid, sabi ng isang doktor.
Ang gouty arthritis, ito po yung nagkakaroon po ng mga accumulations, kaya po meron po siyang parang mga bukol po dito. Meron na po siyang mga accumulation po, iyan ang tinatawag nating uric acid.
Doctors say self-medication may possibly worsen certain health conditions. The medicine which Manny purchased online caused his vision to deteriorate, weaken his body, and exacerbate her arthritis. That is why Kuya Daniel Razon emphasized the dangers of self-medication.
Ang lesson ng pag-self-medication, hindi po tayo hindi tayo doktor. Pangalawa, hindi ho tayo pharmacist. Diba? Dahil hindi natin alam kung ano yung mga gamot na iniinom natin.
Hindi ko po i-advise na magsa-self-medicate po tayo kasi ang dami pong pwedeng factors na makaka-interfere po dun sa gamot natin at saka marami pong pwedeng mali pong ginagawa po yung pasyente na hindi po nila nare-realize na pangit ang nagiging epekto po sa kanilang katawan.
Through the program Serbisyong Kasangbahay, Manny was endorsed to Dr. Imelda Edodolion, the Medical Director of Holistic Integrative Case Center, for treatment.
Pwede ba bang maipadala namin sa inyo to't inyo pong matulungan natin si Manny?
We will be very happy to do so po.
Opo.
Doctors advise those with gouty arthritis and possible buildup of uric acid to observe proper diet and practice a healthy lifestyle. Marge Navarro, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Fans of the Senate Defenders have more reason to celebrate this coming season of the UNTV Cup. Bernard Dadis will tell us why.
The Senate Defenders are prepping up as the opening of UNTV Cup Season 5 fast approaches. After a session and Senate hearings yesterday, the Defenders headed for a tune-up game at the Cuneta Astrodome. This season, former Malacanang Patriot, former TESDA General Director, now Senator Joel Villanueva, will be playing for the team.
Kung alala niyo, si Senator Joel, yan yung tumatalo sa amin dati nung nasa Malacanang. Kaya masaya-masaya, nandito dito sa Tops, nandito pa si Manny. Kita mo, first practice ni Manny with the team, kuhang-kuha na niya yung mga play kasi natural basketball player naman siya.
And a new addition to the roster is no less than the decorated international boxer and congressman turned Senator Manny Pacquiao, who is so psyched to join the league.
Excited na ako makapaglaro sa Senate team. Lalo na kasama ko itong dalawa.
And just like any other team in the league, the Defenders aim to bag the championship this season, especially now that they are armed with a three-guard combination of Senators Sonny Angara, Joel Villanueva, and Manny Pacquiao.
Goal namin mag-champion. Mag-champion kami.
For sure, basketball enthusiasts and first-time UNTV Cup spectators alike can expect an intense run-and-gun offense from the team. During the tune-up game, Senator Pacquiao collected 40 points and fell only 2 rebounds short to be able to mark a triple-double. In addition, Senators Angara and Villanueva bucketed a combined score of 26.
We're looking forward to playing a very good season and for our beneficiary organization. So yun talaga ang point dyan talaga sa UNTV is may charity sa huli.
That's what we're playing for, no? Pwede kami maglaro on our own, sama-sama, mag-schedule ng mga games, pero you're playing for a charity, and that's why very commendable yung ginagawa ng UNTV. Kaya lahat kami excited for this season, especially knowing the fact na may kakampi kaming Manny Pacquiao.
Senators Ralph Recto and Bam Aquino, who played in the previous season, will be playing again for the Defenders. Another addition to the roster is another newly elected Senator, Win Gatchalian. 13 teams will be competing for the championship this season, with the AFP Cavaliers defending the title. The latest addition to the charitable league is the Bureau of Customs Transformers. UNTV Cup Season 5 opens on Monday, August 29 at the SMUGGLERS Arena in Pasay City. Bernard Dadis, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines assures Darlene Diaz that it will not neglect her benefits as a soldier. Ryan De Paz will tell us why.
Defense Secretary Delphine Lorenzana and AFP Chief of Staff Ricardo Visaya will lead the awarding ceremony for 2016 Rio Olympic silver medalist Darlene Diaz. This will be conducted at the General Headquarters of the Armed Forces of the Philippines at Camp General Emilio Aguinaldo during the flag raising ceremony on August 22. The armed forces of the country assured that they will not neglect the benefits of Diaz as a soldier or airwoman first class of the Philippine Air Force.
Sila ay isang active na sundalo. They are receiving basic salaries and allowances. Even they are already under the provision ng magkaroon sila ng retirement benefits after their services in the EFP.
According to Brigadier General Tumanda, the Air Force Special Services Group are the ones who organize the sports activity of PAF and to train athletes who participate in the Olympic Games, SEA Games, and other local competition by AFP and PNP Olympics. They also want Diaz to become a more productive soldier.
Ito ay aming sinusuportahan at ini-enhance. Yung pagiging sundalo nila ay Darlene at Miss Nestor, ito ay part ng kanilang being an athlete, and then as magkaroon din sila ng career sa Philippine Air Force. Alam po natin na yung ating kakayahan, yung kanilang prime ay hindi yan hahaba hanggang pagtanda nila. So they will be developed here in the Philippine Air Force.
To date, there are more than 30 national athletes from the Air Force that participate in different international sports activities like dragon boat, taekwondo, weightlifting, volleyball, softball, and boxing.
Kung titingnan natin ang history ng Olympics dito sa Pilipinas, during mga past years, makikita natin na ang nag-represent ng mga athletes sa Olympics is coming from uniformed military personnel.
Brian De Paz, UNTV News and Rescue, Camp Aguinaldo.
The U.S. men's basketball team held a training session ahead of their semi-final match against Spain at the 2016 Rio Olympics. Chris Perez tells us why.
As the 2016 Rio Olympic Games entered the 14th day since the opening ceremonies held last August 5, Ukraine, Great Britain, and Germany all have clinched more golds, while host country Brazil, South Africa, and Serbia have settled for either silver or bronze.
In canoe sprint 200-meter event, it was Ukraine's Yuri Chiban who won gold, lunging across the finish line and being dunked in the water. Celebrating also was host Brazil Isaquias Queiroz dos Santos who won bronze. They were joined by Valentin Demyanenko of Azerbaijan on the podium with his silver medal. In the men's double kayak 1,000-meter race, the German pairing of Max Rentschmidt and Markus Gross were the winners ahead of Serbia's Marko Tomicevic and Milenko Zoric. The bronze medalists were Australia's Ken Wallace and Lachlan Tame. In triathlon, Alistair Brownlee in dominant style outrunning brother Johnny in a British 1-2 to become the first to retain the title and underlining his position as the greatest ever exponent of the swim bike run sport. Johnny, 26, took the silver after being outkicked by his 28-year-old brother, while Henry Schumann took the bronze, South Africa's first medal in the sport since it was introduced in 2000. Meanwhile, the U.S. men's basketball team held a training session ahead of their final match against Spain at the 2016 Rio Olympics. The United States advanced to the finals of the men's basketball tournament with a 105-78 win over Argentina, while Spain beat France 92-67. Speaking at an open training session on Thursday, U.S. team basketball coach Mike Krzyzewski said there will be no let-up in intensity from his side.
We want to win every game. So if you don't play the pool play that way, then you're not prepared to play the medal round. And yeah, we play every game like it's the most important game. And not who we're playing or when we're playing. So that's how you become consistently excellent. That's how you win.
And to play at this level, they know each other's games inside and out. And us, we just feel like we're just finding out who these guys are and how we're going to mesh together. And we got one game to go until we make it to the gold medal. So I think chemistry is big, but I think when we came together, we all wanted to just win, so it didn't really matter. So, but they do have an advantage in just knowing each other a little bit better than we know each other.
They got a lot of length. They got some shooters. They're a lot of guys shoot corner threes, power, shooting the heck out of the ball. So we just got to be able to communicate. There's going to be a lot of switching, but we got to be able to cover for each other for 40 minutes.
More victories unfold as the games continue. However, the Olympics will soon conclude, so you better brace yourselves for more action and excitement. Chris Perez, UNTV News and Rescue, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
Meanwhile, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA, unveils a plan to launch a mission that may make the public understand how the solar system was formed. Aaron Romero will tell us why.
NASA raised the curtain on a landmark mission to bring samples back from a near-Earth asteroid scheduled for launch on September 8th. At a pre-launch news conference, NASA scientists hailed the mission as a great adventure with the potential to vastly expand the understanding of the early formation of the solar system and the potential dangers posed to Earth by asteroids. The OSIRIS-REx, the Origins Spectral Interpretation Resource Identification Security Regolith Explorer spacecraft will reach the Bennu asteroid in 2018 and shoot samples back to Earth in September 2023.
This is a dark asteroid
that we have found and that we're going to hunt down, we're going to orbit, we're going to take a good look at it, and we're going to bring back a sample.
So the size, orbit, and the primitive carbon-rich composition of Bennu make it a fascinating and accessible asteroid. And that is why it was ultimately chosen as the target destination asteroid for the OSIRIS-REx mission.
The 5-year odyssey will explore vital new scientific territory.
One of the amazing things about OSIRIS-REx is it actually addresses all of the science goals that planetary science has at NASA. OSIRIS-REx is going to help us understand how the solar system works and the nature of the bodies in the solar system. It's going to help us understand how the solar system formed. It's going to inform our understanding for the potential for life in the solar system on Earth and elsewhere.
The 4,650-pound OSIRIS-REx spacecraft will be the first to bring back a sample from an asteroid and will bring back the largest sample since the Apollo era in the 1960s and 70s. The mission will also have a security aspect and will help scientists predict the trajectory of asteroids that could collide with Earth. Aaron Romero, UNTV News and Rescue, New York.
Mexico's National Human Rights Commission releases a damning report implicating federal police officers in the extrajudicial killing of nearly 24 suspected cartel members. Meanwhile, the U.S. State Department says it released $400 or $400 million in cash to Iran under a Hague settlement. And Nunez will tell us why.
In Mexico, the government's National Human Rights Commission confirms the Mexican police arbitrarily executed nearly 24 suspected gang members on a ranch last year, one of the worst abuses of security forces in a decade of greasy drug violence. In May of last year, federal police ambushed suspected members of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel JNG holdup at Rancho El Sol, near the small town of Tanhuato in the violent western state of Michoacan, and killed 42 men. According to the president of Mexico's National Human Rights Commission, Raul Gonzalez, police lied about their role during the incident, moved 7 bodies and shifted weapons to manipulate the scene. Investigators were also unable to clarify how another 15 of the victims were killed. It is a fresh blow to his government, with President Peña Nieto's approval rating at an all-time low over perceptions he has not tackled rampant crime and corruption. In China and India started their 8th round of financial dialogue this morning in Beijing to discuss in depth the bilateral cooperation in financial investment and infrastructure investment and financing under the framework of G20. The two countries signed a joint statement calling for strengthened coordination efforts to contribute to the success of the G20 summit. Both countries agreed to strengthen cooperation in multilateral development organizations, including the World Bank, the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank or AIIB, and the New Development Bank or NDB. The two parties decided to hold the 9th round of dialogue in India in 2017. In America, the U.S. State Department says it released $400 million in cash to Iran under a tribunal settlement only once it was assured that American prisoners had been freed and had boarded a plane. It was the first time the administration has said publicly that it used the payment as leverage to ensure the prisoners were released by Iran.
We were able to conclude multiple strands of diplomacy within a 24-hour period, including implementation of the nuclear deal, the prisoner talks, and the settlement of an outstanding Hague Tribunal claim, which saved American taxpayers potentially billions of dollars.
Both U.S. President Barack Obama and Secretary of State John Kerry have denied that the payment was ransom for the release of the prisoners or tied to the Iran nuclear deal. Ann Nunez, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
After months of reports about polluted seas around the Olympic city of Rio de Janeiro, young people are being taught about the importance of keeping the waters around their city clean. 'clean. 'Nina Armilio tells us why.
'Nina Armilio tells us why. 'Nina Armilio tells us why. 'Nina Armilio tells us why. 'Nina Armilio tells us why. 'Nina Armilio tells us why. 'Nina Armilio tells us why. 'Nina Armilio tells us why. 'Nina Armilio tells us why. 'Nina Armilio tells us why. 'Nina Armilio tells us why. 'Nina Armilio tells us why. 'Nina Armilio tells us why. 'Nina Armilio tells us why. 'Nina Armilio tells us why. 'Nina Armilio tells us why. 'Nina Armilio tells us why. 'Nina Armilio tells us why. 'Nina Armilio tells us why. 'Nina Armilio tells us why. 'Nina Armilio tells us why. 'Nina Armilio tells us why. 'Nina Armilio tells us why.
While the waters around Rio de Janeiro have been under scrutiny for lack of cleanliness during the 2016 Olympic Games, one organization has been working to try and change the attitude of locals towards waste and the ocean. Parley for the Ocean is an initiative which focuses on the cleaning up of the world's ocean. They've been working together with young people from around Rio to try and teach them about the importance of cleaning oceans and what they can do to help protect the world seas.
Yeah, so Parley Ocean School is committed to educating the youth of tomorrow that the daily decisions they make have a direct effect on the ocean. And so Project Grail is an incredible local partner here in Rio to deliver that message.
Project Grail is a local Brazilian initiative aimed at getting children out onto the water, teaching them to sail, and giving them a chance to work on their social skills, and they have been working together with Parley on the project.
Well, our network can obviously put solutions in place, but it's the youth that we're going to depend on to really shape the future of the oceans. And so it's imperative that we teach them now that not only do the decisions they make every day affect the ocean, but also they have the power to really change the world.
The upper plastic is collected from the coastal areas of the Maldives, while the netting comes from deep-sea fishing nets.
More importantly, this isn't just a message or a program that's happening during the Olympic Games. This is a partnership and a program that will continue on into 2017 and reach hopefully all of the kids throughout Rio.
Nina Emilio, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Those are the reasons behind the news. August 19, 2016. I'm Angelo, Castro III.
Reasons we delivered to you as they unfold. I'm Gerry, Alcantara.
And I'm Darlene, Basingan, because we need to know.
We will always ask why. Thank you for watching.
Why News.
Happy weekend.